Bet365.com, Betfair, Betfred, Coral, Ladbrokes, Totepool, Unibet and William Hill bring you Racing Post Greyhound TV.
Well, good evening. Welcome to Racing Post at Greyhound TV. Well, I'm breaking new ground tonight. It's my first Monday. I'm sure it's not yours. Welcome to the show. Live action, of course, coming your way from Doncaster and Harlow. And a fantastic studio panel this evening. Sitting alongside me, well, he's the man of the moment, really, the sponsor of the Greyhound Derby, Star Sports owner Ben Keith. Welcome to the show, Ben.
Thank you very much, Phil. I'm delighted to be here.
And, this time of year, obviously, for you, normally... Yeah, I know you're a Greyhound fan, so you'd be looking forward to the Derby, but added interest this year, of course, you're the man behind it.
Well, do you know something? It really is a life ambition to be supporting the Greyhound Derby and to be betting at the track. I mean, I was out for dinner with some people a couple of years ago, and they looked at me and said, "Oh, do you think you'll ever bet at the Dogs again?" And a shudder came over me, and I thought, well, I probably won't ever bet at the Dogs again, because I'd say that in my whole life I've been happiest and most at peace with myself when I've been standing on a stool at the Dogs, not dealing with the gambling commission or having an argument with the accountant, just taking bets, cracking on. And I much prefer dealing with dog track punters than horse punters. It's a much more purist place to be, and I really, really mean it. Going to Toaster for those 12 nights, that'll be like going on holiday for me. I can't wait.
Fantastic. Well, hopefully we're going to put you to rest and you're going to relax and enjoy this evening, and certainly in the company of Jonathan Hobbs at the end of the sofa there. Jonathan, welcome. I can't call you Jonathan Hobbsy. Welcome to the show.
Cheers, boss.
For a Monday
Thank you
night.
very much. Yeah, no, and good to be sat next to Ben. You know, I mean, Graham Racing's massively in his heart. You've just heard why and what have you. So we could have no better man, I think, you know, spearheading what is a, new sponsorship, breaking new ground at Toaster. They're great plans. And, things are looking good, and the entry has been just top class, really. So we're all excited to buy it, but we want to get some questions in maybe for Ben and, some reminiscences as well. The fact he's stood on those tracks at the Stowe and where else?
Sittingbourne and Coventry.
Coventry, exactly.
Yeah. Do you know what, though? Following your article in the Racing Post today, I thought that when you were listing the statistics of how many runners there's been each year, what I hope for this year is an outsider to win, a big outsider. Do you remember in your article when you said that the year after Salad Dodger won, literally 275 dogs entered, and that was like over 100 more than
before? With the caveat that I think the prize money was at an all-time high as well.
Yeah. But it gives people that, oh, hang on, I've got a good A2, I can go forward. And when I spoke to Kevin, look, of course, we're going to have an excuse, but, I mean, we were disappointed with the number of entries. We obviously were hoping there would be more, but at the end of the day, Kevin said he felt it was because it was almost so competitive. And you're looking at the top of the market there, and you've got some fantastic dogs running that are 14, 16 to 1. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm hoping, I'd love there to be, most of all, I want a wide runner to win it, to shut up all the grassy knoll conspiracies, but I would love a rag to win. And I'm not just saying that as a bookie.
Well, I'm hoping it's fresh from the sesh. I did mention a little bit of three figures about
Alfie
before.
Herbert,
great Greyhound.
Breaking news a little bit. We should really mention this towards, I think, the mid-afternoon. Breaking news that Newcastle and Sunderland have been bought by ARC, of course, who run the horse racing operation. So, obviously details slightly thin on the ground at the moment, I would imagine, but nevertheless, there's a couple of good pieces. I think the Post have put something up, and also Floyd Amphlett on the Greyhound Star. If you want to see some of the background of what goes on, worth checking out. It's, as I said, I think
we all assumed it was SIS's done deal, didn't we?
Absolutely, yeah. So there's plenty going on. As I've kind of just figuring Graham Racing, as you know, Ben, there's never a dull moment.
But Hobbsy, can I just say, I mean, what a good thing for the game. I mean, look, do you really want SIS controlling everything? We need competition. Phil, just a minute ago you were talking about smaller tracks. I think that smaller tracks need to be supported rather than, you know, the rich getting richer.
Yeah.
You know, why aren't the Harlows and Milden Halls and you know, Henlows or whatever getting bags meetings? Why not? Why does it all have to be, oh, what a coincidence, it's another bags meeting for a Ladbrokes and Hills track?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Share the wealth.
Well,
spread it around.
I mean, look, I think at the end of the day, look, it sounds rich coming from me. I'm a bookie, right, and I'm the biggest capitalist going. But the game, I believe that you only get out of the game what you put in. And I feel that I owe the game so much, and I think that, you know, the wonderful thing is whether you go to the horse racing or the dog racing, there is something for everyone, isn't there? You know, everyone goes racing for a different reason, but we have to support the smaller tracks, and I am delighted that SIS aren't buying the Hills tracks.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, this is heaven knows how it's going to progress. But I mean, in terms of Art's kind of horse racing kind of sort of situations, they're you know, fantastic going concerns, and I think the word is it's about trying to get some sort of, you know, the global marketplace and making, you know, the opportunities that are out there and getting more money into the sport, I think, you know, eventually, and that's got to be key, really. But yeah,
but I've got to say,
it's a game changer.
Do you know something? The reason that I'm so happy to be sponsoring the Greyhound Derby isn't just to be supporting the Derby, it's to be supporting Kevin Ackerman and the Heskeths. Because when you go there, they do everything properly. And I sat next to Lord Hesketh in his box, and they had the best buffet. I mean, it made Royal Ascot and Cheltenham look like a wimpy. It really did. It was fantastic. And I sat next to him, and I said, "Oh, this is all so impressive." And Gary Woodgate, the Star MD, was sitting next to me, and he was quaffing on the wine, saying, "Oh, this is the best wine," and all of this. And I said this to Hesketh, and he whispered to me, he said, "If you want to be the best, you've got to produce the best." And I mean, you know, look, we're talking about the Greyhound Derby tonight. But never mind that for a minute. Let's just say Toaster are doing a 10 grand to the winner graded Derby.
Absolutely.
Now, hats off, right? We live it. We work and live in a game. We love the game where it's so easy to you know, slag everyone off and all the rest of it. If you go to Toaster, their effort, it's just, honestly, it really is commendable.
It is. They're making everybody, you know, sit up and take notice.
Yeah,
really,
definitely. I think from day
the
one,
boundaries.
they've gone
about class.
Gone about it a different way. There's a touch of the Walthamstow in a lot of what they've done in terms of trying to do things to the best of their abilities and put on a show. But also there is that horse racing background and the idea of catering and hospitality, which they used to doing on a better, probably a higher level than we're maybe able to produce at our tracks. Although I have to say, Ben, and I'm not taking you to task because I've been to Toaster, you're right, the food's fantastic, but don't rule out the buffet at Kinsley.
Oh,
John Curran will run it very close.
I've been told that the food at Kinsley is unbelievable.
Yes.
But is it as good as the fish and chips at Mildenhall?
Well, I can't answer that. Well, I've had fish and chips at Henlow. Which
never mind the track challenge. That would be a betting heat, wouldn't it? Where's the best scrub? I'll tell you one thing, though. I genuinely mean this. We have a box 3 days at Royal Ascot and at Cheltenham. We would get no change out of 15 grand a day with all the inns and the food and all of this stuff. And that's cutting every corner. Yeah. I mean, you know, you go to the Dogs, you go to Mildenhall or Toaster, or I imagine Kinsley, you get change out of a pony and it's different class.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when Toaster was on the verge of opening, and we will turn our attention to Don Class in a sec, but Terry Darknell said to me, he said, "I've got somewhere I can take my owners now."
Yes.
You know, I've got a track again I can take my owners
I completely agree. At Wimbledon at the end, the food, I mean, it was an embarrassment, wasn't it?
It wasn't the finest, but listen, we're going to move on. We're turning into MasterChef now, Ben.
And not cheap.
We're turning to Master. I don't know which. I'll be Greg the Egg, as my kids call him. But here we go. The 7:31 at Doddy is our first live action.